everybody, and welcome to episode 200 of the Dedicated to Disneyland Paris podcast. Yeah, you heard that right. Dedicated to Disneyland Paris podcast, celebrating DLP magic since 2010 through all of its ups and downs, expansions, closures, progresses, delays, plagues, bringing you all the news, speculations, and a healthy dose of Fort Comstock and some dad jokes. It's been a wonderful ride of a lifetime, and we are really proud to have been part of this crazy and fabulous fan community. As well as the on and again and off again and back on again inside ears ambassadors, and to all the guests that we've had on the show, and from all of us who've been your hosts over the years. We can't thank you enough for listening, and we hope that you all take care and keep spreading that Disney magic.
Hold on. What's going on here? It sounds like you're signing off or something.
Well, hey, Mark, 200 episodes, that's a good run in my book. It's a milestone marker, and it's not like anything new is going to be happening at Disneyland Paris until like 2026 or something. Natasha Rafalski said so herself. So it seemed to me like a good time to pull back, retire, sunset the whole business, hang up the old headphones and look for some new adventures, not necessarily called adventure. Huh?
But we're just getting started. This is like one of the most exciting times in the resort's history. Disney are making millions out of DLP. They basically built Disney Plus from the sale of Nutella Mickey waffles alone. And Disneyland Paris is being rewarded with brand new lands opening fairly soonish. But we can't stop now, because I think all of our listeners will agree with this, that what would they do without the DLP news updates on new merch and snacks and Cars road trip shenanigans?
Oh, come on. I don't know. There's other sources for this kind of information. You've got all the fancy influencers on Instagram. There's great vloggers on YouTube. I don't know. Inside Ears is not really going to mess with a tiny little podcast like ours. They won't even see we're gone. Wait, I think I know that. Ahem. Is that you?
Yes, but don't tell anyone. Agent V is still on a secret mission. I'm just here to support Mark in this. Plus, I've gone over the Inside Ears mission charter contract, and as Inside Ears ambassadors, we are sort of legally obliged to maintain our online presence in perpetuity pursuant to the continued operations of Euro Disney SA and its subsidiaries until further notice from the DLP communications team.
Okay, well, that was intense. We have a great show for you guys today, and we cannot wait to share with you all the exciting news that came out of D23 in Anaheim this week.
That's the spirits. There we go.
Okay.
There were even announcements about Disneyland Paris. So we actually have something to report here. But first, it's time for some non-D23 DLP news. Now, as some of you may know, our amazing Dedicated to Disneyland Paris logo, which we unveiled on the 30th of March 2021, that's already like 3 years ago, was designed by artists extraordinaire Rob Yeo. And his love of theme parks, especially DLP, and exceptional design style with a wink to mid-century modernism is what attracted us to his work. And we were overjoyed back then when he agreed to create a new look for us. Well, we are now even more excited to let you know that Rob is, in fact, an official DLP design partner, and you have already seen his work in the parks. Our Instagram followers will know that we first found out about his Disneyland Paris commissions when he was able to lift the veil on the new Autopia attraction poster, and more recently, he was also the creative director behind the brand new Le Pays des Contes Faits attraction poster, both of which we absolutely adore. So why am I bringing this up? Well, because the Storybook Canal Boats attraction will actually be reopening on the 30th of August, and that's this year, with 3 new scenes inspired by Walt Disney Animation Studios' Frozen, Winnie the Pooh, and the Pixar Animation Studios film Up. So let's call them It's a Small World of Frozen, Mini Winnie, and Slightly Elevated. We have no idea if Rob's posters will be on sale at any point at DLP's many shops, but you can always make a selfie in front of one when you find them and go to the attraction when it reopens. And so, good for you, Rob. We're very happy for you.
So exciting. I would love to have one of those on my wall. I mean, they're leaving money on the table if they don't do it, in my opinion.
Right there behind the big pink crystal. That's where
Exactly.
it would go.
Perfect
Yes.
place. I'm saving a place for it. Another thing on my wish list is a permanent mini version of the Disney Electrical Sky Parade floating around in the middle of my living room.
Ooh.
Okay.
Nice.
I mean, that's not yet on offer,
Ah.
but something that is a nice little offering coming up, a little Halloween and Christmas gift that DLP is offering us. They are adding 2 new sequences to the much beloved drone show at the castle. So Disney's Enchanted Christmas will have scenes of, what do we got here? We got giant snowflakes, plural, and illuminated floating Christmas trees. And before that, during the annual Disney Halloween Festival, there'll be flying bats and other spectacular visions, low-key haunting the skies, weather permitting, of course. Mm-hmm. It's not quite a villain's land. We'll get to that later on. The Halloween Festival this year, just to remind everybody, October 1st to November 3rd, and the DLP Enchanted Christmas period is November 9th until January 6th.
Yes, and finally a little D23 related nugget, which we will not include in the announcement section because technically it's not an announcement. But if you had been to D23 and passed by the Disney Volunteers booth, you may have been in for a quite pleasant surprise, as former DLP ambassador Carmen was, completely unaware of the fact that they had used not just 1, but 2 photos of her at the booth. She was suddenly facing herself on massive blow-up backdrops depicting her at volunteers' activities during her time as ambassador. So even though she is no longer a DLP ambassador, she still represents the park for its charitable activities. And personally, I could not think of a better and more compassionate face for the volunteers program. Maybe she would like to come onto the show someday to talk about it?
Well, Mark, if there's one thing Disney always tells us, it's a dream is a wish your heart makes. So
maybe
who knows?
Episode 300?
Yeah, it's out in the universe now.
What do you think? I think it's time for Love Our Listeners. Do we have some mail to read out?
We do indeed. Bring on the music, Mark.
All right, let's go.
Set the mood.
Listeners.
I'm happy to report today that we have a very special email, a follow-up letter to last week's exchange with listener Sam G.
Oh.
Now, just to refresh everybody's memories here, Sam was in Paris for the Olympics and had a day to spend in the parks. And he asked our advice about Sequoia Lodge, how to best profit during a short summer look-in at DLP. Now, Mark and I answered in our usual, well-meaning but marginally chaotic fashion.
That's it. This is a well-meaning podcast.
Yeah, exactly. That's
don't always
what
get there,
they can
but-
say about us. Exactly. Our heart is in the right place, is what I like to say about us. So Sam was a champ, and he got back to us so fast with his great, very concise trip report. So I'm going to let you read it. Okay, Mark?
Sure. Here goes. Hey, Beth and Greg. Hey, hang on. Did we get someone else's mail there?
No, it's meant for us. It'll get clear as you read through it. Just keep going, Greg. Mark, sorry.
Okay, if you're sure. We just got back from Paris a couple of days ago, and we wanted to send in a trip report. We got to Disneyland Paris. I like how the Americans do that. It's like Disneyland, Paris. On our first day at around 12 o'clock, and had a nice day at Walt Disney Studios. The wait times were pretty low, like you had predicted, and we did not need to buy any individual passes. Great.
Yes.
Then, around sundown, we went to get dinner at Pim Kitchen, and then after
Very
that,
good.
we went over to the main park and wanted to go watch the fireworks show. But it turns out that all the fireworks and all of the drones got cancelled because there was going to be a thunderstorm outside. So it was only projections, which kind of sucks, but you're able to get over. Then we went to bed, and the next day we headed over to Disneyland Park. We had a fun day there, and we left at around 6 o'clock to head to Paris. Thank you so much for reading my trip report on the show. I am a huge fan of your podcast, and I just wanted to say that you guys should really talk to That Park Life podcast. You guys are very similar. Thanks so much for all of that, Sam. This is definitely meant for us, I think, right?
Yeah. Thank you, Sam, for sending that in. Okay, Mark, I'll explain what tripped him up. The hosts of his favorite Walt Disney World podcast that he mentioned right there are called...
Oh, Greg and Beth.
Yeah, you got it in one. That Park Life is hosted by Greg, who's a Disney cast member, and by Beth, who is a sassy American who loves to sing.
Funny coincidence, that, isn't it?
Oh, or is it? Okay, what would you say, Mark, if I told you that there was an international conspiracy of Beths slowly infiltrating Disney podcasts around the world?
As I have no wish to offend all the Beths, I'm going to say, great.
Yeah, okay, that's a wise decision. Although I have to admit, we're actually all pretty harmless. Beths are mainly known for our musical talent, love of Disney, and ability to put up with terrible dad jokes.
I feel reassured. Have you had a chance to listen to the show?
Yeah, I have indeed. And I found it to be really quite delightful. The hosts are super well informed on all things Disney. They were funny, dare I say charming. And Beth has an amazing singing voice.
Ooh, that's high praise indeed coming from you, and to be compared to such a great show. So for listeners, if you are looking for some solid Walt Disney World content, maybe check out the That Park Life podcast.
Yeah. So thanks again to Sam. We were so glad to hear about your trip. I'm glad that our recommendations were spot on. And I guess it's time to finally get into the main segment, the announcements from the recent D23 fan event in California.
Let's go. The event is actually called D23, the Ultimate Disney Fan Event, presented by Visa, registered trademark.
Wow. Okay. I'm not sure Visa actually needed to slap their name on that, but okay, you do you, Visa.
This event occurs every 2 years and is organized by Disney's official fan club, D23. There's always merch and entertainment, but it is mainly famous as a place where the Disney company reveals upcoming projects, particularly when it comes to parks.
Yeah, well, though I have to say the one back in 2022 was kind of subpar as far as all of that goes. Remember that one, Mark?
Yeah.
The announcements were all like so vague. It was always maybe and just imagine. It was really an overdose of plausible deniability, in my opinion.
Well, you know who was head of Disney at the time.
Well, yeah, a lot can be blamed on that.
Well, this wasn't that, and we knew something was up for DLP as a royal delegation had been sent over from the Paris parks. Queen Natasha herself was there, and Princess Carmen.
Yeah, I have to agree. All that made me really hopeful, although the first few little bits of news coming out had me a little bit worried. That first day, Friday, August 9th.
Yeah.
Everybody was showing a model of Disney Adventure World that was in the Imagineering behind the
famous
Pavilion.
Model, yes.
I looked at a lot of walkthroughs. Well, you can't walk through it, but filming it. You can only walk through it if you're this big.
Your fingertip throughs, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Except you weren't
I don't
allowed
want
to
to
touch
diss
it.
on them. The model was not very well done compared to like models I have seen before. It was a little lacking in detail.
The model was the major construction project. Yes.
Yeah. And to top it all off, that empty area on Adventure Bay beside World of Frozen was just an empty green painted meadow. Not going to lie, I was a little worried at this point.
It was, in fact, the little prairie, the little house on the prairie, but without the house.
Yeah. Just an inappropriately bright green, never found in nature little prairie there.
Although there were some actual discussions going on about the particular shapes that those green bits had. And somebody was trying to overlay, because there was one that had like a corner. Somebody was trying to overlay Millennium Falcon on one of the bits there. And they were still hopeful that there was going to be a Star Wars land. But then somebody actually zoomed in on the pavement in front of one of those green lands. And the pavement was kind of cracked, dried earth. And they said, that's very similar to Lion King, but from the live action version. And we'll get into that.
We'll get into that, definitely.
The model was a bit strange, that the model was revealed first, and then some announcements came.
Yeah, it was odd.
But good on them for making a model, bringing a model all the way from Paris. D23 event is also about movies. So on that Friday at 7 p.m., they held the Entertainment Showcase. We'll go over the major ones here, as movie releases often determine which characters and attractions we get in the parks. First up, Moana 2 will be released on November 27th this year, and the live-action remake of the original is in production, slated to hit theaters in 2026. I will repeat that. So Moana 2, the animated version, will come out on November 27th this year. And there's a live-action remake of Moana, the original movie, which will hit theaters in 2026.
Speaking of...
Why are they going to then also make a live-action of Moana 2? I guess it depends on how popular it is. But this is very strange for me to see as an industry. Like, we are an animated theater. We are known as an animated movie company. That's what we started with. And we continue making animated movies. But we're also making live action movies. And it's not as if Moana is an old classic that they're turning into a live action. This is a very recent movie that has now got a green light for a live action remake. And it's very strange for me because, like, either stick to the animated movies or go directly for live action. So I don't know where this kind of policy comes from now, but maybe somebody will be able to tell us at some future investor call event or whatever. Anyway, that's what's happening with Moana.
Okay, well, we're just going to continue in this same vein. It's not going to make you happy, Mark. The live-action remake of the 1937 classic Snow White. That's been in production limbo and subject to some rough controversies since the filming ended in 2022. The whole thing, I am not even going to go into it, but it's had a rough time.
Yeah.
Disney at the event released a teaser trailer and a theatrical opening date of March 21st, 2025.
That's right. There's another movie coming up 2 months after that, but we'll probably talk about that. Lilo and Stitch. Yes, another classic Disney film that no one really asked for a live-action remake of, but we're getting one anyway. Given Disney's visual effects track record when it comes to anthropomorphic animals, our first look at Stitch is exactly what one would expect, which boils down to, yep, that's him all right. Besides, the teaser trailer aired at D23, they announced that the adaptation of the 2002 fan favorite will be out in summer 2025.
Okay, so what else is there? Well, let me tell you. How about Toy Story 5?
Toy Story 5?
That'll come out in the summer of 2026. Hang on to your hats. Frozen 3, set for 2027. Mm-hmm. How about Zootopia 2, opening in November of next year?
Zootopia.
And oh, look, another sequel. Avatar 3, also known as Avatar Fire and Ice, will come out December 19th of 2025.
You know there's going to be an Avatar 4 about Earth, sand and anyway, it'll come out. Want to hear about something that is not a sequel?
an actual new original film? Yes, please bring it on.
No, of course not. It's a prequel. The CG versions are back in Mufasa, the Lion King. The story of how Mufasa came to rule over the Pride Lands.
All right. Oh, well, I assume he was fairly elected in a transparent and fair voting process?
Yeah, something like that, I'm sure. Listen, there was one more movie. There was one more movie that I wanted to talk about.
Back it up. Okay.
Mandalorian and Grogu. That's the one. We have talked about this before, that they actually gave it a date, May 2026. Right? And I want you to keep that in mind, because we had a little poll on our Instagram, and we're going to circle around to that. That's why it's important that I mention it. So, Horizon's Disney Experience Showcase. On Saturday, August 10th, Disney Experience's chairman, Josh D'Amaro, came on stage and had some real news for us.
Okay, it started out a little slowly. I mean, if I never hear about world premiere again, it's going to be too soon. And officially announcing the Disney Adventure World name change, I mean, it's a big yawn from me, dog.
But I bet you sat up when they finally announced what the new themed area on Adventure Bay is going to be. Was it what you hoped for, Beth?
Like we say back home, could be worse.
I think some people will be very happy, though, as at least this will be an all-new exclusive land that no other Disney park has. The Lion King was announced as the theme for the area and will feature a log flume ride in the shape of Pride Rock, as well as shopping, dining, and character greeting opportunities.
Okay, so one attraction, a shop, and a restaurant, a meet and greet.
Shopping, not a shop, shopping. It's all about the shops nowadays. That's why they make new lands, to put new shops. And to be honest, the attraction looks like Splash Mountain, thinly disguised as East Africa.
Yeah, I mean, that's a ride system from 1898.
Yes,
It's not 1989.
No, you're
it's
absolutely right.
old-fashioned,
Because
but
that's
it's not
what they used to do with old logs, because they had to go down the river.
That's true.
And so they chop them up, and then, they put persons on these logs. It's from 1898. Yes, you're absolutely right.
So, I mean, yeah, not exactly cutting edge. Let's just say that. This is not...
Cut the logs.
Sawing, literally cutting edge. Okay.
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, what's your take? Are you happy about it? I mean, we talked about it. Mm-hmm. There was a real chance it was coming.
Yes. The rumors were true. Not that we disseminated them. But Lion King Land is original. I mean, as I'm saying that no other Disney park has a Lion King Land.
Right.
I would have expected one at Animal Kingdom, but there you go.
Right.
I would have expected Lion King in Adventureland, but then again, it's a whole land. But you could have easily put the Pride Rock attraction in Adventureland.
Yeah.
Well, it's an area now, but there's expansion pads, so they can easily add a second ride. What would that be? I don't know. And the combination of log flume and splash ride and Lion King is that, okay, I have to explain that the way they told it, it's going to be the story of how Simba grew from a cub to king in one attraction.
Yeah.
So you're telling a story in the attraction as you're going by. Is it going to be the same technology as, Tiana's Bayou Adventure? Probably. But it's going to be themed out according to The Lion King. And Pride Rock, obviously, great opportunity. Log flumes can go up and then come down a waterfall. You could have easily have done this with, and I'm just throwing this out here, Wakanda. Why not have a Wakanda land? Because they weren't using log flumes. Well, you could have put something else as a ride vehicle instead, But you could have still used an African nation or landscape for that as well. And But okay, I think Lion King is very popular. As we heard, there's going to be a live action movie. And there was some confusion about, is this going to be based on the animated or the live action? But then people said, no, they definitely said the animated classic. So they're still going to be using animatronics that will be quite similar to the live action. But okay, I think people will like it. It's an addition to the park. Lion King is adventure. They might call it that, Simba's African adventure, whatever.
Yeah.
It's good. A lot of people are still calling for some kind of Star Wars land. And they're saying, okay, we've got that land next to Frozen, but there's still space. They could still put some kind of Star Wars. But I think that whole ship, that whole Star Cruiser has flown.
I have to agree with you. My remarks on this would be, I just found it a little weird to have the World of Frozen, which is going to have a water ride telling the story of Frozen. And then we're going to have right beside it a water ride telling the story of Lion King, but it just has a part with a little more velocity to it. I don't know if that was the most sensible thing to do. As far as theming goes, the choice of Lion King, I noted that I think it's a coherent choice, but it makes the park unbalanced. In that, I could really see myself taking a little 7-year-old through that Disney Adventure World and really enjoying Ratatouille and the Toy Story Land and riding the Rapunzel ride and going through the World of Frozen. And she'll be enchanted to go to Lion King. And that seems really coherent to me. But then I feel like it really leaves Avengers Campus the odd man out, with the Tower of Terror sitting there all kind of confused and alone. Well,
no, it's clear that they're making that corner of Adventure World child-friendly, family-friendly.
I just think they could have gone partway around the lake because it's right behind Avengers Campus and Tower of Terror, that corner where they've stuck Lion King, if they would have put something like Pandora or Star Wars, or, as you said, Wakanda would have been ideal.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would have balanced out the park a lot better and made it just as good a destination for teens and adults as it is for little kids. And I feel like this Lion King choice, the choice of this another water ride with animatronics, it's going too far in the direction of the really little kids. And I think they could have used the opportunity to balance that a little more. And I just don't see them putting something more teenagery or adulty between Frozen and Lion King. I see that space there.
Yes.
But I just don't think they're going to I just don't see them putting Wakanda there. It wouldn't make any sense. Why isn't it closer to Avengers Campus? Why is Lion King in the way?
Imagine you're at Disney Adventure World, currently known as Walt Disney Studios, and it's February, and you're walking from Frozen. You've just been in Arendelle, and maybe there's a little actual natural flurry of snow, and then you're going to walk along the lake and you're going to go into Lion King Land, where it's the savannah and it's supposed to be hot, and you're going to go onto a water splash ride. Now, that's the thing. How can you make a land immersive when it's supposed to be set in a very hot country all throughout the year? Now, if it had been an indoor attraction, I can imagine, because Frozen is an indoor attraction. So even in summer, you're going to have that. It's going to be nice to actually go into something cool.
Yeah.
But in winter at Lion King Land, you don't have that luxury, I think.
A lot of it's indoors, but there is that outside drop. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It does have a big show building.
Plus the rest of the land. is not.
Yeah, the whole rest of it is
indoor.
going to look very odd with snow all over it. That's
Apart
absolutely
from
sure.
whatever restaurant, but I imagine they would have an outdoor restaurant, or at least a major part of it being outdoor. And a meet and greet area. Is that going to be indoor or outdoor? Because then you've got all these characters. That's
Meet and greet area covers a lot of territory. That can just be like a little tent set up in a corner where they schedule.
Yes, but which characters are you going to be meeting?
Disney has brought this upon themselves. In the artwork they put up at D23, you could clearly see it was the CG characters in that artwork.
Yes.
And it set everybody off. They were very angry about it. But then when they retrofitted their little model, they clearly put in the cartoon characters.
Hold on. This is news to me. So they actually put the Lion King land in the model.
They did, where they retrofitted the model, and it's in the model now.
So that happened. Okay, good.
That did happen, and you can go online and see how it looks now.
All right.
And it's clearly the cartoon characters. And then Disney did come back around and reassure everybody that this land is going to be based on the animated characters.
That's where the confusion
And there's going to be animatronics, but they'll be the animated characters.
Yes.
But I mean, Disney themselves sowed the seeds of dissension by not being consistent with their artwork. It's not like they didn't have time to prepare for this. This is not a surprise. I don't know.
But the reason I asked which characters are they going to be meeting, because there is one that we know comes out in Adventureland every now and again from The Lion King, and that is, I've forgotten the name.
People see Rafiki.
Rafiki comes out, yes.
And sometimes you see Timon.
Yes. But the big stars of Lion King Land are the lions.
Lions, yeah.
How do you meet a lion? Yes.
That's the Disney magic. They'll just make some kind of weird looking lion costume.
Do you shake a lion's paw? Are they on their back paws to greet you? Are they lying down on a rock? Or is there not going to be any lions to greet?
I just feel like you can't have a Pride Rock area and not have any lions that people can meet. I mean,
want lions roaming around
That's
Pride
what
Rock.
they get paid the big bucks to figure out. And that's why we're working here for free.
Anyway, Lion King Land, if you're wondering, when is that going to open? We don't know. They did not announce that.
No.
Here's something I think we can all get behind, though, and that's the new nighttime show that was announced. Disneyland Paris is getting a brand new spectacle starting in January 2025. Very soon, yes. In addition to drones, fireworks, and projections on the castle, there will also be projections on the Main Street USA, a Disney park first.
You know, as much as I love dreams and have appreciated illuminations, I'm really glad to see DLP get a new custom-made show. They've said it's going to feature characters from Encanto, Peter Pan, Pinocchio, Beauty and the Beast, Toy Story, and even Frozen.
I just hope they don't make me sing along. My rendition of Let It Go is more likely to be Let It Stop.
No, that's not even true. You've sang on this show before, and you were really good. So I think that we're going to do karaoke the next time we get together, and then we're going to do like a fun behind-the-scenes bonus video for our listeners, right?
Not going to happen. Huh? No.
Okay. Anyway, seriously, though, I think the show is going to really be a must-see, and I think it was a long time coming.
Yes, but they said that the projections on Main Street were Disney parks first. That is not completely true. No, well, it's lighting. It wasn't projections.
It was lighting.
Remember
I thought about
Halloween?
that too when they said it. Yeah.
Yes. So, because I thought that was quite well and very specifically done, but I guess it was just lighting and not projections that they had during the.
Yeah, I think this is really going to be. They're going to be trying to turn the storefronts into other things with the projections. So I think that'll be quite different. Yeah.
Anyway, soon we'll be spoiled for choice as the new Disney Adventure World nighttime show was also announced beginning in 2026. The spectacle on Adventure Bay will include fountains, water screen projections, drones, and other cutting-edge effects. Fantastic.
Okay, well, the sneak peek looked really cool. The Moana bit looks really stunning. And you can have a look on YouTube if you don't mind spoilers.
Speaking of 2026, that's what they announced as the opening year for World of Frozen. No, not opening date, opening year.
Opening year. Here's my theory.
Yes.
They said 2026 because they're going to open at the end of 2025 and then say, oh, look, we're open early, and expect all the kudos for that. I think that's the plan.
However, the poll that we conducted on Instagram, where I asked our readers and viewers, what do you think will come first? The Mandalorian and Grogu film in May 2026 or The World of Frozen? And what do you think came ahead?
Okay, people don't have much faith in the building abilities of Disneyland Paris. Okay.
Yes, around 73% said the Mando and Grogu film will come before World of Frozen.
Honestly, it takes Disney so long now. I don't know what happened to them. You know, the original Disneyland in 1955 was built in 1 year. I'm not even kidding. 1 year, 35 attractions and displays. Include 13 of which are still running today. And those are like Mad Tea Party, Casey Jr., Storybook Canal Boats, Peter Pan's Flight, Autopia. All this sounds familiar?
Yes.
All stuff that we have Disneyland Paris. This was built, all of this plus more, built in 1 year in 1955. And this is stuff still running today that is perfectly like legit theme park attractions. It's not like pathetic old-fashioned stuff.
Yes, but in 1955...
How is it possible?
1955, Los Angeles was not hosting a Olympic Games, so they didn't have all these workers building stadiums and so on. There wasn't a shortage.
But like Paris had like basically a very low build Olympics. They didn't build new stadiums. They put up bleachers and stuff, but that was their whole idea. They weren't going to build huge venues. That's no excuse. I mean, there's something wrong with them.
The other, people are saying, yes, the construction is progressing quite fast, but then the ride has to be installed, tested, and then you have all the cast members that needs to be trained properly. And, what do you need to do in case there's an emergency and you have to evacuate? And that takes a long time as well for a new attraction. You could say, well, World of Frozen does exist already, and so they could send prospective cast members over there to do their training. But every park has slight differences and so on. But again, we don't know, and I think the way you were mentioning that, yes, I think it's reasonable to believe that 2026 winter opening makes a lot of sense. We just hope that it's the winter coming out of 2025 and not the winter going into 2027.
Yes. Fingers crossed, let us say. Now, I know you were very excited about the Grogu and Mandalorian movie. Did you see the announcement about the new adventures going into that a Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run ride that they have both in California and in Florida? Yeah, they've added 2 Mando and Grogu adventures.
Yes, but as a Disneyland Paris fan who is disappointed that we're not getting a Star Wars land, that excitement then is toned down because it's like, see what else we could have had. And I don't see myself going to the American parks anytime soon because I've heard of other things that have been announced for those parks, and they're quite amazing. And I'd rather hold off and wait until those are done to go and see those. We're talking about, what have we got? A Coco attraction at California Adventure. Something that would have been wonderful in Frontierland in DLP. We're talking about an entire Villains Land. Hello, at Magic Kingdom in
I'm
Walt Disney
so
World.
jealous. So jealous.
We had said like the third gate in Paris, that could easily be a villain's land.
Yeah.
You know, maybe they're going to see how that pans out, and maybe they're going to bring that over to DLP as well. What else did you hear of that's coming to American parks?
Magic Kingdom is going to be getting Cars Land, a slightly smaller version probably of Radiator Springs, which has been a big hit over in California.
Yes, we still have Cars Road Trip, but okay.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. We can be so proud of that. Now, Hollywood Studios Park in Walt Disney World, they are getting a Monsters, Inc. area, which includes a Laugh Factory coaster.
The Doors coaster.
And it is one of the suspended coasters.
Yeah.
It'll be the first Disney's done.
Yeah.
And it's for that whole scene where the doors are flying around on the laugh floor. And I mean, I think that movie was animated with a ride in mind, and it took them this long to get there, but it's going to happen. And I love suspended coasters. So
yes, and it's actually, I think Vekoma makes them in the Netherlands, so it's not like they're far away from Paris or anything.
Exactly. Mac makes their own. They make really nice ones. They've had one in their parks for 20 years. It's so fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, California Adventure. They are getting their own Avatar Land, but it's going to be based on the Way of Water film. Mm-hmm. So it'll be different to the one that's over in Florida. And, with that new Avatar movie coming out, I mean, I just don't think it would have been crazy to give us our own Pandora. I don't know.
Well, maybe with the fourth film.
I'm not excited about Lion King.
The Way of Dirt.
Yeah. And so much Avengers Campus news all over the world. So many new rides. Practically everybody is getting a new Avengers Campus ride. They're getting a new one in Hong Kong. Well, no, Tokyo, they're getting a show.
That's good, yes.
With superheroes in it. But California Adventure, their campus is getting an e-ticket ride. It's called I'd written it down like Infinity something. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It looks good.
And then Animal Kingdom at Walt Disney World is getting an Encanto attraction.
Yeah, well, whole land, actually, they're calling it Tropical Americas.
Ooh.
And it's going to be themed to Encanto. And then just behind that area, if you know these parks, there's a dinosaur ride. And that's going to be rethemed.
Yes.
Well, it's being rethemed to Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones. You see? That's the kind of stuff we've been asking for years. I mean, we have it Indiana Jones, but it's like...
But it's not the Indiana Jones that everybody else has.
Or they're going to change it or whatever, yes. So basically, what we have is an announcement of a year that World of Frozen will open, an announcement of a new nighttime show at that Adventure Bay, and a Lion King land, which will come at some point in the future. 35th anniversary, maybe, or is that even too soon? Depends how fast they can finish Frozen, World of Frozen, because I don't think they can. So it's going to be more construction following after that. And the nighttime show starting on the January 2025.
Exactly. I'm so glad we have that to hold on to, at least.
Still a good haul for DLP announcements at D23. But yeah, I guess people were expecting a little bit more. But there you go. And as people have said, Disneyland Paris is very good at announcing random things. No, they're very good at announcing big things on random Tuesdays. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, when you're expecting something, you get nothing. And when you're expecting nothing, you might get something.
So there is still a place for us here, because you never know what random Tuesday, what they're going to announce. And I think Disneyland Park needs some love. There's going to have to be something new happening there at some point.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you were talking about Adventureland. They have a back corner there that really needs something.
Yes, they have something.
I do feel like that Lion King area would have fit back there, but I don't know. Anyway,
Grogu's
I'm
pod coaster,
like a maniac. It's all right. Never mind me.
Well, I think that wraps it up for our special edition of D23 Updates. We hope you're as excited as we are about all the new magic coming to Disneyland Paris. Beth, anything else you would like to add to our special 200th episode of the Dedicated to Disneyland Paris podcast?
Just a big thank you to you and Vanessa and Emily and our forebears who came before us and established this great podcast. And here's to 200 more episodes. Why not?
Why not? Beth, I will give the honor of seeing us out of this episode to you.
Oh, thank you. It's my pleasure, Greg. Mark. Thank you all for listening to this very special edition, 200 of the D2DLP podcast. Come on back in a couple of weeks. You know what? And we're going to have number 201 for you all. Where can you find us? Well, thank you for asking that hypothetical listener person. We are to be found on all the finest podcatcher platforms, such as Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, and Bethcaster. If you've got a moment, rate and review the show, if you please. It does help new listeners find us. And you can also follow our posts and get involved on our Instagram and Facebook feeds. And you can now also even see us on YouTube, on our channel. Give us a listen and a look. You can request things, ask us questions, give us trip reports, constructive criticism. Why not? Send that all on to DLP at dedicatedtodlp.com and check out the website, if it please you, at www.dedicatedtodlp.com. So until next time, folks, keep dreaming, and may your days be filled with Disney magic.
Hi guys, Emily here. I miss you all so much, and I just want to say congratulations on 200 episodes, and here is to many more. Take care, miss you all.
Zum Geburtstag viel Glück, zum Geburtstag viel Glück, zum Geburtstag, zum Geburtstag, zum Geburtstag viel Glück. Woohoo! 200 episodes! Look at us! Who would have thought? Well, I'm obviously brazenly including myself in the success story, even though I'm on a temporary hiatus. But, congratulations to us, and especially congratulations to Beth and Mark, who have been keeping this whole enterprise afloat the whole time. We've been through a lot. We've been through park closures, new land openings, the whole COVID saga, inflation, annual pass changes. We've seen it all, really. And I'm quite excited to see what the future brings. So here's to us. Chin chin.